Come, let's talk at 1835 University Boulevard, number 314, Hyattsville, Maryland, 20783. Office phone number 301-326-1976. Office fax 301-328-0406. Phone number 301-222-7732.
The American dream of owning your own house is a reality now.
Comfort Realty will represent you in selling, leasing, purchasing commercial property or residential in the DMV area. Count on our ability to offer the best in the market. DMV, your American dream come alive with us. Come, let's talk at 1835 University Boulevard, number 314, Hyattsville, Maryland, 20783. Office phone number 301-326-1976. Office fax 301-328-0406. Phone number 301-222-7732.
The American dream of owning your own house is a reality.
Welcome to Moment of Truth. My name is Nadia Ashon. My wonderful co-host today is Mrs. Matilda Asante Boydo.
Thank you.
Okay. And she's going to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself.
Well, my name is Matilda Asante Boydo. But people normally call me Adwa Mafua. Since I'm an Achim, I'm a Ghanaian also. I've been married for a while with my lovely husband, Mr. Asante Boydo. We are just living in Maryland here with a beautiful baby girl, Miracle, Boyima Asante Boydo.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, so today we are here talking about love and relationship, but our running title is To Have and To Hold. I think it's important when we think about marriage. What is, we always say to have and to hold, for richer and poor, to sickness and in health. But what does it mean to you? So if you are watching us today, just think about it, to have and to hold. Throughout the program, just think what it means and what are some practical things that you could put into place when you come to the concept to have and to hold. So let's talk about the vows. Some people said, when they ask you, when they say to have and to hold, you are getting married, so you're like, yeah, to have and to hold. But what does those vows mean to you when you think about it?
Well, I think that when we say having something, you just don't go for anything less. You just go for something that you think you cherish most. So when you say you have something, there are some things that you cherished. And when you say you want to hold it because you cherish it so that you keep it no matter what situation. So to me, with the vow to love and to hold, to have and to hold, to me is to have something that you cherish and the way that you're going to do around it to make it work for you as a married couple.
Do you think, for me in particular, do you think people think about it? Like they say the vows, they are so excited, they say to have and to hold. But do you think people really dig deep and think, what am I having? What am I holding?
Well, I don't think we do put so many thought about it. That's people think about the vows too much. We just say it with our lips. That's sometimes we say just a lip talk. But in actual sense, like we have to think about it very well. Sometimes being coupled, we have to sit down and think about our vows that we shared that the day of our wedding. But we just say it, and when we are done with it, that's it. We move on.
And I think it's true. I think most times what makes it, people said, did you meditate on your vows? Did you pray about your vows? some people will say they think about their vows and then they pray over it and then they actually write some vows. You know, Church of Pentecost, of course, there's a written vows that you have to say. But if you have to really choose the words for your vows, when they say to have and to hold, I think it should resonate within you.
Yeah.
You know, the person that you have been praying for, I know when it's time to get married, you are praying, you're like, God, you know,
Yeah.
you are fasting and praying for this person, this significant other. And when the vows are said and done, it's like, I don't know.
Really?
We switch the light off and everything else is on the blackout. So today, just think about it. Moment of truth. Are you still thinking about that person that you said to have and to hold? Are you thinking of that person as that special person? You know, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and that is one day everybody think about love. But you wanted to think about the concept of the relationship process, to have and to hold. Where do you have it, and what are you holding on to? You know, the hardest part about anything is, even in marriage, we can hold on to the negative aspect of it.
Yes.
If the person did you something wrong today and you are holding on to it and you are marking it on your list of all the wrongs that you have done to you. And so you are having and holding on to negative aspect. But we are telling you today to have and to hold means that even in good and in bad, you still have to hold on to.
Yeah. As my husband normally say, women, we got two backs, one on our right side and one on our left side. When they do good things to us, we put it on the left side, and the left side to the back to they got some card at the bottom. So it just ran out. But when they do us the wrong things, we put it on the right side. So anytime we go and visit it, and we have to take it away from the marriage, it doesn't help in any way. So sometimes you need to think about, as we are talking about the vows, we need to cherish our partners. We need to cherish them. We need to hold them firmly. We need to love them in all situations, no matter what. No exemptions. In good times, in bad times. Because our vow says we should love and to hold. And even sometimes it go beyond that. We say in sickness, in health, in everything. So me, like sometimes I think the vows, like we have to write them ourselves. So that in case something happened, your husband can refer to you that you remember you write this and you said it.
And I think it's important. I think most times what makes something, if you are studying something, they said, you know, you memorize it, you write it down, and you really go through the process of digesting the words.
Yeah.
Because on the day of your marriage, when the pastor is asking you to say it, you are just saying it because you are repeating it, even though you go through rehearsal and everything. But if you have sat down and written it down and put practical things behind it, like, okay, to have and to hold. You know, if my husband did this, will I still have him? Will I still hold on to him? Because not to think negative, but to be realistic. Yeah. You know, I think it becomes very, very sad when even in our Christian community, when we start thinking about divorce, when we are not holding on to the marriage vows, when we are not doing what we said, we are not loving, and we are not cherishing what we have. And I think it comes down to, do we really understand the vows that we're saying out loud? You know, they talk about after years of marriage, what does it mean to you? You know, somebody may be marrying today and everything is so fresh, everything is so exciting to them. Yeah. But maybe you have been married for 10 years. Maybe you have been married for 20 years. What does it mean when you said to have?
To hold. Well, I'll say some people are married for 20 years, 30 years, or 15 years. But when you go through their marriages, you don't see the happiness like that they were supposed to have. They are just holding on to the marriage, as their vows are saying. But to say to have and to hold, you need to go into deep. Don't just say, I'm holding on to the marriage because of my kids. I'm holding on to the marriage because society. I'm holding on to the marriage because of church. No. You must go extra mile. Let your partner or the person that you are living with know that you are holding on to because you cherish him. You love him, and love doesn't fade. We have to put it as couple in that, always in our mind, that no matter what, we should love our partners, cherish them. We shouldn't say, oh, you, sometimes we normally say it, especially with the Ghanaian community, because I'm in this marriage because of my case. Don't say because of your case. You didn't marry because of, that's the only notion, that because of I want to have kids. No, it go extra mile. So as especially we the women, we like saying those words. I'm in this marriage because of my case. No, please, we have to refrain from those phrases, and I don't think it brings the beauty in the marriage, because telling your partner, just imagine telling your husband, I'm in this marriage because of my case. So it means you don't cherish him. He's just something that you don't even consider him in the marriage. You place your case first. And that is bad.
And that is really hurtful.
That's
just imagine somebody said that to you.
Yeah.
You're a human being, you have emotions, you have feelings. If somebody said that to you, how will you feel?
Yeah.
And you are saying that to somebody as son, somebody as daughter. Yeah. That to me is painful. Yeah. And so we are talking about, love and relationship, but we are talking about to have and to hold. And 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. Yeah. And so when you talk about the concept of love, we are talking about cherishing each other. Yeah. And meaning that you are in love with your husband. The day he put the proposed ring on you or whatever he did, you were super excited about that. Like you show everybody, I'm getting married, I'm getting married. And then you finally get married, and then you are like, that's it. But we want you to understand that to have and to hold means that you need to not only protect and love, but cherish.
Yes.
So practically, how do you go about cherishing somebody? Because I think in our community, and I have to be honest, cherishing people is not something that we have been taught. Yeah. We are taught about protecting. Well, sometimes we protect. We are taught about protecting, so we protect each other. But we have to remember to love, to cherish and protect, and to hold is like, it's a chain reaction. So if you love somebody, you are going to protect them. Yeah. You are going to cherish them. Yeah. So how do we do it in our Ghanaian community? How do we cherish somebody that we say we are in love with or we love?
Yeah. I normally say, one of my friends were getting married in New York, and she called me. I said, Mercy, well, you've stayed for a number of years before getting married. When we came to America, you saw white, you saw Cameroons, you saw all over. Let me say, we have the African Americans, but you still insisted that you need a Ghanaian man. Okay. So I don't want you to come and tell me that, excuse me, to say Ghana for me, You know them and you say you want a Ghanaian man. Yes. So be a Ghanaian woman.
That is true.
Do what is expected of you as a Ghanaian wife. When you're in the house, let your husband know you are in the house. Cherish him. Know when to say, I'm sorry. When to say, thank you. Don't say, Ghanaian men, they are like that. Don't go and compare other society or other people's practice and bring it to your house. True. You married a Ghanaian man, so treat him as a Ghanaian man. And I'm telling you, you love your marriage.
That is an important part. And I think we do a lot of comparisons.
Yes. And the husband was like, who is that friend? He says, oh, that's Pentecost of Mommy. And you just laughed over it. So I always tell my friends that I don't want my friend to come and tell me, oh, Ghana for men or Ghanaian men, they are like that. No. You married a Ghanaian man. So you to be a Ghanaian woman. Be an African woman. In your home, in your house, cherish your husband. When you do anything and you think you are wrong, just go on your knee. Me, I normally call my husband, Papa, Papa, I'm sorry. And that makes it. And I know it is working in my home. So please, being a Ghanaian woman out there, don't say you are in America, so you're coming to practice what Americans do. Hey, you got to do this and I have to do that. Please, when you're in the house or when you're in the home, please let your husband. Well, we know we are all busy, going up and down and other things. But the days or every moment that you have with your husband, let him feel that he is the man in the house, no matter what. Your education, your background, or whatever, let your man know he is the man.
Thank you so much, my dear sister Matilda. And I think for me, I'm going to take the woman's side. She take the man's side. I'm taking the woman's side. You got to have the moment of truth. Got to speak the truth. You know, we always said our Ghanaian men are not romantic. But romance is something that we all learned. So if you say your man is not romantic, how are you being romantic to him? So it's Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Have you thinking about buying him a card? You know, because we learn, if you buy him a card, you buy him his favorite candy, whatever it is. He may not like chocolate, he may like cookies. Whatever it is that he likes, are you doing things, are you cherishing him by doing what you think he will like? Because if you say somebody is not A or B, and you are also neglecting to be that A and B, then you are not going to be supportive of that person. So you are not going to change a person, but you have to be yourself. So if your Ghanaian husband is not going to buy you a car, buy him a card.
Yes.
Because you love to be in love with him. So buy him a card. If you like roses, buy him roses. So do what you want to be done for you that he is not doing. Just do it for him. And sooner or later, he will catch it. He will buy it.
Definitely.
You know what? My wife always buy me birthday present. So what am I not doing for her too? My wife always buy Valentine's Day stuff. Why am I not buying it for her? So we encourage. You are not trying to change your Ghanaian husband. You are not changing your Ghanaian wife, but you are encouraging. So we'll all learn. In life, you have to learn. And so you may have done it for 20 years, never change. One day he may surprise you, you'll be shocked. But that is what it is. We all have to do the very best we can to have and to hold, to cherish each other. So meaning that the extra mile that you go, you know, the love note that you write, the encouraging words that you write, the cheerleading that you cheer him on his dreams, whatever it is that he's working on, it is encouraging that you have to be your very best for your significant.
Yeah, as tomorrow is Valentine, it doesn't mean your husband should buy you something big. Or it doesn't mean you should also buy him something big. Me, I normally take my pen. I don't like even buying card because card is what somebody has put it out there. But I like sitting down, writing what I have loved about my husband, what he has done over the years that, in fact, I cherish it. So I sit down, choose my own words, write it, and put it sometimes under his pillow. Also, anytime he gets up, he will see that. Or even sometimes you put up some words. So if I don't like, when it's Valentine's Day, I don't test. I just write, I decorate my own card. Card it very nice way, write it, make some little drawings here and there, put it over there for him. So anytime he gets up, he say, oh, my God. In fact, sometimes some of your words, I don't know. So make him feel that way. It doesn't mean go and buy what somebody has made. You can just sit down because you know him very well. You lived with him. What you like about him or what you dislike about him. So during Valentine's Day, we can put all those things aside. You can just take some paper, decorate it on your own, write the kind of words that you think it suits to your relationship or what you think they are best describe the behavior of your husband. And I think he will love it.
And I think it's important. One of our guests said love and respect. Yeah. You know, respecting each other, I think, is an enemy of
everything.
A healthy relationship. You know, when you protect somebody, you respect them.
Yeah.
You know, when you are cherishing somebody, you respect them. You do not cherish something you don't respect.
Respect.
And you don't love and protect what you don't respect.
Yeah.
So respect is underlining factor. It is something that is there that nobody even have to say it.
Yeah.
But it is the unwritten law,
Yeah.
the unwritten rule. Do you respect the person that you love? And you should, because if you don't respect the person, you shouldn't have married the person. So
There is no love. Without respect, there is no love. Imagine getting up, being rude to your husband or your wife, and you go and tell him that I love you. No, respect comes before love. That's what I always say. You respect him or her, and you will not even beg for the love.
And you know, love comes from the heart.
Yes.
You know, when you think about it, are you speaking from the heart? And I think it's hard when we hold on to bitterness,
Yeah.
when we hold on to past mistakes, past failures. So when you are holding on to negative aspect of the relationship, then you are not holding on to the love.
Yeah.
And so when you are not holding on to it, you cannot produce good things. When you hold on to negative baggage, they weigh you down. Negative things, I believe, weighs more than positive aspect.
Yeah.
So if you are thinking about to have and to hold, you know, respecting each other and loving each other and really protecting each other comes with its own. Yeah. And that is what marriage is all about, is presenting things in a way. It is no roses. Nothing is perfect. We are not saying that we don't make mistakes in marriage. You make mistakes in marriage, but are you learning from your mistake?
Yeah.
You know, if you made the mistake today, don't go repeating the same mistake over and over again. The other person will get tired of hearing that you say, I'm sorry. You know, learn from your mistake. Yes, one time, yes. The second time, the third time, shame on you, because you are not growing. You know, and I always tell myself, the me that I was last night, I shouldn't be the same me today.
Yeah.
You know, the me that you were last year, you shouldn't be the same me this year. And if you are not growing, you are not changing, you are not adapting in your marriage to be a better person, then the person that you are with will feel it. You know, when you are with somebody and you can tell that the person is not growing, they are stagnant, they're going to pull you down.
Yeah.
They are going to pull you down. And you don't want that in a marriage. You want somebody to be encouraging you. You want to be, it's not a race, but you still want to feel like, you know, my partner is doing the very best, or my partner is doing his very best. So you want that dynamic in that relationship.
Yeah. As we were talking about respect and other things here, we need to respect our partners, especially we, the ladies, and even the men as well. Because as I was saying, you can't tell your husband or anybody around you that I love you without respecting the person. And also, when we're talking about, sometimes we were talking about bitterness, we sometimes hold on to bitterness. And I think it's time for us to let those things go. I was following our chairman, Apostle Nyamiche, and he has been talking about, he had about 30-something episode on bitterness. And the Bible verses and other things that comes and other things. So when you listen to all those things, what bitterness has caused people? I've been following, it seems he was through with bitterness last year. And I will entreat everybody that when you have time, you can go on YouTube and maybe you follow that, what the episodes that he talked about bitterness. And it's going to help your marriage, even your life as well, because he talked about so many things. And every week, he talked about what bitterness caused in somebody's life. And I think it's high time that we, the married or couple, must deal with bitterness, because it's not helping. Yeah. It's not helping.
And to me, I think bitterness also stems from unresolved issues. Yeah. You know, when we tend to be mute in marriage, we tend to hold on to things. Minka, like somebody, I'm not going to talk about it. Like we have these prideful things. Oh, I'm not telling him. Whatever mistake he does, that he's the man of the house, I'm not telling him. And you are bitter when he failed. Yeah. Because you are not telling him, you are not being a wife. You're supposed to be a partner, a suitable partner. Yeah. So when your husband is going to do something Even if he doesn't share the idea with you and you heard him talking to his friend about it, just sit back and listen. And when he finished talking the conversation, say, honey, you know when you were talking to so and so, I was just listening. And I think if you do A, B, and C, it will help. Yeah. Even if he doesn't listen, at least you have said your piece. So if he failed or succeed, at least you have told him the truth. You know, we tend to hold on to things because we say, oh, he won't listen. And so right there and there, you undermine him and you don't respect him. So when he failed, you say, I said it. You know, but when did you say it? Did you actually have a conversation with him and he said, honey, A, B, and C will not work. Let's do it D, E, and F. Yes. You know, so having that conversation with your significant other show respect. Yeah. Respect. And that respect is part of to have and to hold.
Well, I normally say that sometimes the way we approach issues is one of the factors. When your husband or your wife does something and you start maybe accusing him or her, he or she will shout. And the next thing you say, then I won't talk again. I won't say anything again. But maybe the way you started it, the way you approached him. Sometimes when my husband comes from work, he will come and say, I want today this thing happened in the workplace, blah, 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 blah. I say, wow, that your workplace. In fact, that moment, I won't even talk about, I won't even ask what happened, what this or that. But rather, I will help him talking about the workplace and those people there. Don't mind them. Those people, one day see you and they will blah, 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 blah. So the next time, maybe in the morning when he's about to go, then I'll call him. Honey, please. You said something happened at your workplace. Please let it end. Don't go and talk about it again. It's nothing. Just let it go. At least 8 hours, you will come home. And he will say, okay, if you say so, then that ends it. But just imagine the time that he came from the work and he started talking about it. And I also started, hey, you like this, you like that. Just imagine what will happen in the house. True. But whenever that he brings it, I'd rather talk with him about it. And sometimes you'll be, in fact, talking for length about the work, what they do, and other things. So in the morning, then I'll take my time and tell him, please, don't let it happen again. In fact, when I listen to the story or something, what you told me about it yesterday, I think next time, just go this way, this way. So we must use constructive criticism. We should know when and how to approach our husbands when there is any situation at hand. Don't just start accusing your partner.
That is true. And I think most times also, mental truth, from a female perspective, when your wife comes, and she's telling you the problem, she's not telling you to fix it.
Yes.
Our husband loves to fix our problem for us. You talk about work, and they're like, okay, what can I do to fix it? No. Honey, I just need you to listen. You know, and I think it's important also, women, when you are talking to your husband, talk to them about how you're feeling. When they hear your emotions, they are able to listen. But when you tell them about the situation in a problem format, they want to fix it. And then your mind is like, but I don't want you to fix it. And then you started getting upset with him when he's telling you how to fix it. Tell them how you feel, you know, because that is half of the problem. Our emotion allow us to deal with situation in a godly way or ungodly way. When we let pride deal with the situation, then we end up making more mistakes. So we are talking about to have and to hold. What are those little things that makes our marriage sweet? Or what are the little things that make our marriage bitter? It's just how we deal with our spouse. Yes. You know, don't deal with them in a way, don't deal with each other in a way that you start with accusing or start with, and you did this, and you did that, and you did this. Start with, this is how I feel. The I means that you are part of the problem. Yeah. And the I means that I see the problem also, and I am going to help deal with the problem. So then the other person's like, oh, since you see the problem, Now, how do we fix it? But when you say you, then the person is like, okay, if I'm the cause of the problem, then I don't want to be around
I'm not
you.
going to talk again.
Yes, and we don't want that. Respect means that you have to be real with each other.
Yes.
Respect means that when you love somebody, you cherish the person, you are really going the extra mile to make the person feel loved and cherished and respected. So if there's any problem at all, you have to deal with the I factor. How do you see the problem? How do you want us to handle the problem?
Okay. And sometimes the way we talk, before you start, maybe if you want to start talking with him, you can use some words. Honey, my dear, oh, the only one that I have, please. Me, sometimes I use Ghanaian language. Let me put it. Obi dum be a bear na. Oh, how ne say? Papa, catch me. Address the community. Then he will just sit down and he will laugh. So whatever that he has, because I started using those words, then he said, you don't know what happened. When I tell you, I said, you tell me. That's why I'm here. And I will listen to everything that you want to tell me. Please tell me. Then we start talking about it and other things. But when so we should know how to approach our husbands. And if we use words, sweet words, not that we are pampering. Pampering is never love. We should put it out there that when you pamper somebody, it doesn't show love. But rather, we should use words. As our Bible says, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Because you want your husband to cherish you, to talk to you in a nice way, you started first. For all things, look to yourself first.
That's good. He said pampering doesn't show love.
Yeah.
We live in a society where you go to the spa, you want to be pampered. You want your husband to pamper you. And so if he doesn't pamper you, it means that he doesn't love you. And you are telling us pampering is not love? Please explain. My viewer want to know why.
Well, even let's take our case, for instance. When they do something, instead of you saying it, you go by, oh, I know, he's like that. She's like that. Or in the name that your baby will cry, or maybe your baby say, Mommy, why are you accusing me? So you start from small, and by the time that you realize it has gotten into something else. It's the same thing in marriage. Your husband, you are in the home with your husband. As I was saying that we should make our home an African home. Because you are married to a Ghanaian man. You are married to an African man. But it doesn't mean that you should, go so low, or maybe, I don't know how to say, just because you are married to him, you cherish him and other things. So the words that you are not supposed to, even you go to the extent that you go extra mile by pampering him. Sometimes when he's in the house, encourage him. Encourage your spouse to do something to help you. Honey, can you please help me this way? Honey, can you please do this for me? Please. And sometimes after he or she does it, learn how to say thank you. But don't just cook everything for him. And one day, maybe you might not feeling well. You'll be expecting him to cook for you. Or you'll be expecting him to do something for you. But because you started pampering him or her, it will go to that time, he or she can do it for you. And both of you will become handicapped in the house.
See.
Let's say you tell her, I don't want my wife to work. Mind you, we are a human being. Sometimes society, sometimes you'll be even laid out from work. Sometimes you fall sick. But because your wife is not an outgoing person, you didn't, because the way you started with her, you pampered her in such a way that when there is any mess, she can't gather herself. And I will say that, so when you do those things A time will come that maybe you might say, oh, I should have done this, but it will be too late. That's why I say pampering is never loved. Just encourage each other. When a situation that it goes hand in hand, just encourage your partner. Let him go out there, explore the world. When he's in the house, encourage him. Even just cook rice, you can just show him. Let him do something. And when he does it, after that, you thank him. Me, my husband, whenever I finish cooking, he will go, okay, you wait, I'll wash the dishes for you. When he finishes, I say, oh, honey, thank you very much. Thank you, oh, thank you. Because the way I was tired, my legs, please, thank you, thank you. Then he says, oh, don't worry. You know I got you. Always, I got your back. You see? So when I had my baby, 2 of us, only 2 of us. Nobody. We didn't call for anybody. We did it ourselves. And it worked. Because we encourage ourselves from beginning. That's why I say pampering is never loved. Imagine I had C-section and my husband didn't know how to cook. You just imagine what would happen in the house. That's why I say pampering is never loved.
Well, thank you. I hope our viewers got it, because when you say don't pamper our husband, our viewers are like, what do you mean? And so we always have to understand that pampering is not love.
Yeah.
And I think you really hit on a very key concept. You need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet in a marriage. And if you can't do that, you are not helping that person.
No.
The same thing with even our kids.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell my siblings, and I said, if you are not able to fund for yourself, then as a parent, and I even tell myself, as a parent, I want my son to be able to do things on himself. My son to be able to do the laundry, fold his own clothes, clean his room, clean the bathroom. I don't want to do it for my son. I can do it, but I'm not going to do it for my son. My son is 12 years old. He knows Saturday, he does his own laundry, fold his own clothes, do the bathrooms. He does our laundry for us. Why? Because I want him to be able to do those things. So that way, when he's in college, he doesn't live in dirt. When he's away from me, I don't have to worry about him. Oh, does he have clean clothes to wear, or all those things? And that's part of the pampering. You know, whatever you are doing to handicap, and that is like, you are right, it's not love, because you are handicapping the other person. You are not allowing the other person to see and feel the reality of being a responsible adult. And we want to say, moment your truth. We don't want you to pamper. You want you to love, cherish, protect, but we don't want you to pamper. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that is good. So we're talking about nourishing. You know, I think it is important when we talk about to have and to hold. How do we provide nourishment in our marriage? Because I think our marriage are dying from being spiritual nourishment or physical nourishment, whatever nourishment we need. We are holding on by the straw, but we want to be able to hold on to the love, the joy of the marriage. So how do we go about doing that?
Well, sometimes when we marry to some years, when we marry for some years or something, then the nourishment, that's the happiness, the things, the little things that you used to do that makes the marriage works, or that makes the 2 of us get out there and be loving yourself. We just, especially when we start having kids. But we should put it in our mind that the kids doesn't come to replace our spouse.
No, they don't.
They don't. A time will come, they will go.
Believe me, they will run away from you.
They will run away from you.
They will even call you.
They will even call you.
That's true.
And it will be 2 of us. So mind you, whatever that you put it on table now, a time will come that is going to haunt you. Because you didn't show him love. You didn't show her love. So imagine when the kids go. Now you're expecting him or her to show you love? No, it's gone. So whilst we are still in our marriage, we should, the little just things, we should put so many things in our marriage. Sometimes my husband says, oh, my dear, you know something. You're getting big, but still the beauty is there. I say, oh, thank you very much. You know, you too, you are this, but it's still there. Then sometimes when he normally baba his hair, when he's doing it, I say, oh, let me help you. Do it this way, do it that way, and I'll be tapping him. Sometimes I will even go and hide. Whenever that I hear that he's coming, I'll hide. When he comes and say, hey, then we just embrace each other. Then we start what? Laughing. So those take your spouse as your playmate. And I bet you, even when he's out there, he'll be thinking of coming home. Because when he comes home, he'll not come and meet a front wife or a wife that will always turn herself busy, picking here and there, going up. Well, it's good to be busy, it's good, but sometimes have time for your spouse. So whenever my husband is not in the house or something, I try doing all those important things that I have to do. So when he comes, I'm for him. We sit down, talk. When he's eating, I'm by him. We talk. We just laugh. When he's going to the bathroom, I'm there. When I'm going to the bathroom, he's there. And when my husband is in the house, or whenever that we are in the house, no phone. We go with our daily things. And I'm telling you, let's deal away with phones. Some people, when they are with their husbands or their wives or something, then they start testing. It means your husband is not important to you. What are you testing? Throughout the day, what have you been testing? That the short period that you have with your spouse, you still be testing. You still be on phone with friends. What are you talking about? So please, when we are with our husbands or whenever that we are free, we should do all the important things in the house before our partners come home, so that we can have time with them. And it's good to sit with your husband or your wife whilst he's eating. Even whether you are eating with him or not, please try and sit with him when you are in the house.
Okay, wow.
When you are in the house.
That is wonderful. So these are what we call the love languages.
Yeah.
You know, because somebody feel like if I give my spouse a gift, that show I love them. Somebody just want quality time.
Yeah.
They want you to be spending quality time with them. And that quality time means that they have your undivided attention. Somebody means that they want you to serve them. It means that you cook food for them, you bring it to them, you sit down with them. That shows that you love them. So you have to know your spouse.
Yeah.
You have to know your spouse. If your spouse like gift, even little gift makes them happy, then study that spouse and do that for that spouse. If that spouse just all the time, you say, can we go do movie? Can we do this? They're always asking you to spend time with them. It means that's what their love language is.
Yeah.
They want to spend quality time. If your husband always or your spouse always asks you, will you get me this? Will you do this for me? Will you do it? You're like, what is your problem? It's because their love language is serving. If you serve them, it shows that you love them. If you don't serve them, if they ask you to do something and you frown your face, it means that you don't love them. And that just breaks their heart. So please remember, each person is different. Each person is different. And I think it's also important to know words of affirmation. Like you tell them, I love them. I love you. And they're like, oh, thank you. Somebody, you tell them I love them 20 times and they will only say once. But you know that words of affirmation means a lot to you. That is your love language. Continue to say, I love you. And if all they say is that, okay, just continue. Because that makes you happy. And that's what we're trying to do. Moment your children, we're trying to let you know that the things that makes you happy, don't try not to do them because your significant other is not you. They always say opposite attract. So you may be the very opposite of your husband. They may be the one who doesn't care about a gift. You give them a gift, they just put it away. But you like gift. But you still have to find what they like. So if you give them one gift, find out 20 things that they like so you do it for them. So that way they will also be happy. And then, of course, they will buy you the gift that also makes you happy. You know, I think we have talked about a lot of things, but one thing that really rings in my mind when it comes to have and to hold is family. Like how family plays a huge part. Do you think that when we are in a marriage, do we think we should let a lot of people get into the marriage? Do we think we should our pastors, our elders, our deacons. Like every problem we call ring ring pastor, ring ring elder. Like the phone, our house is like 911. We are calling for rescue missions. Do you think we should be doing that to help us to have and to hold?
Well, as I was saying, I always tell my friends or anybody I come across that when there is issues in our marriage, we should first run to the throne instead of running to the phone. The phone is not the solution.
Nope.
Run to the throne first. So, and we should stop telling people about our marriage. You spoil the beauty of your marriage. Imagine telling your friend or telling a pastor or telling an elder, my wife is this, my wife is that. And mind you, when you are angry, you say so many words that maybe like it were not supposed to come from your mouth. But once the words has come out from your mouth, you can't go back and correct it.
True.
So you spoil the beauty of your marriage. So you tell me all sort of things about your spouse, and the next day I will see two of you holding hands. How do you want me to see you? I say, oh, let me think about myself. She's just doing it for public, because what he is or she is going through. But everybody got problem in their marriage. So when there is issue, run to the throne, pray, have good words, talk to your husband or your wife about it. Before you tell a pastor, mind you, pastor has a wife has a friend has a friend. So by the time you finish saying one thing, like you end up, sometimes the whole church, meanwhile you will not even hear what people will be saying about it. And your husband will be going and people will start accusing your husband, will start cursing your husband. Deep within you, you know that maybe there was some just pit issues. But because we didn't take our time to solve it in the house, now we've brought our marriage to public ridicule. And we must refrain from all those things.
That is important. And I think one of the things I've also learned very quickly is don't call your significant other family members and then complain. Yes. We start with the church. Don't go to the church. Now, don't even go call your husband's mom and complain, or call your husband's sister or your wife's sister and complain that your significant other did A, B, and C. How do you expect them to treat you if you are complaining about their loved ones, about the issue that you are going through with your loved ones? You expect them to embrace you? And now if they have attitude with you, you say they don't like you, but you started a problem. So in order for you not to have a problem with them, don't start anything. Don't start anything, because to have and to hold is that, you guys are together. A string of three chords, which means that God is in the middle of it. So your togetherness means that you need to make sure that anything go to God first. Yeah. Sometimes you may be praying for your significant other. They don't even know. They don't even know you are praying for them, but something is on your heart that you are trying to, pray to God to help. And by praying, you also pour out your confidence or your fears to God. And then when you are talking to the other person, they will not hear the fears, but they will hear a resolve. Because that's how God works things out. He resolve it in our hearts. So when we are talking to our significant other, they'll be like, oh, wow. They didn't know, like, 2 nights ago you were crying over it. Yeah. All they hear is the resurrection in your heart that, you know what, God is going to take care of it. Yes. And God is in control. God is going to do it. So we just really want you to understand, to have and to hold, that God has to be in the center of it. Yes. And God is going to be the one that keeps you guys together. Yeah. And no matter what, not the pastor. We love our pastor. We really do love our pastor. We love our elders and all our deaconesses and our deacons. But we're just telling you, God needs to be the third string of the board. Not everybody else, not the family, but just God. And with God in the middle of it, God is going to take it. Yes, of course. Amen. Amen. Yes. So we're still talking. So what do you think are some of the challenges when we look at everything now in our marriages? What are some of the little things that you think will start a fire, that will cause challenge, that will make us not want to hold on to our marriage? What are some of the challenges? Well, our first and foremost is the way we talk in our marriage. You believe it's a big issue?
It's a big issue, very big issue. How we talk to our spouse, how we talk to their family members, how we talk to their parents is a very big issue. And I always say, if you always put it in your mind that your in-laws, especially the mothers, they've grown. And we know when people get old, the way they behave. Yeah. So you put it in your mind that, oh, in fact, my in-law now she's growing. So whatever that you say, oh, in fact, now my in-law she's growing. Just put it in your mind like that. We shouldn't make meaning to every little statement that we hear. And that is the biggest, one of the biggest issues in our marriages. Whatever that we hear, we make meaning to it. Sometimes they'll be joking. Sometimes they don't even mean it that way. If you think you didn't like the statement or whatever your spouse or the in-laws tell you, just approach them. Mama, please, what you told me, I didn't like it. Because, you know, when people are getting old, they think differently. They act differently. I always say my mom is an example. My grandmom is an example. The way they will act and the way they will talk to you. And they always see you as a kid. Sure. And I think the same way that they will do to their in-laws. And if they don't take care, it will be chaos. So, and that's what I would say, that our words and the way we read meaning to everything, that's one of the challenges. Sometimes we sometimes have to ignore some of the things. And sometimes we should think that, oh, it's age. And just let it go. We shouldn't hold on to so many stuff. That's, as we were talking about, bitterness. Your husband, maybe you fight with him or he says something, you also say, mind you also say something to him. But, so why do we have to still hold on to those bitterness, those words, read meaning to those words? And I think that's one of the challenges that is not helping our marriage.
Thank you so much. And I think we talk about pampering. I think those are some of the pampering issue. We start with, people said in our community, oh, Ghanaian men, they don't help. They don't help. So, but you are the one pampering them. Yeah. So we become feeling certain way when you see, some people feel uncomfortable when they see you asking your husband for help. When you are in the kitchen, you say, honey, and they're like, why are you asking your husband to help you? Yeah. And so then you feel like you're doing something wrong. But this is to have and to hold. That is you having and holding on in your relationship. It means that when you are doing certain things, that will help your relationship. Don't look at somebody else. No. Somebody else may be doing something totally different. So don't copy blindly. Whatever is working for you, really communicate with your spouse. And remember that if it works for you, then it is for your benefit. If it's not working for you, don't practice it. You know, and I love the fact that you talk about the in-laws. I think it is very important the way we address the in-laws. I think it causes frictions in our marriage if our parents or our spouse parents cannot even call our house, or they cannot even talk to us because they don't feel welcome. You know, if your parents are feeling welcome, your spouse parents should also feel welcome in your home. And that is one thing that we want you to understand. To have and to hold, it means that you have to love each other, protect each other, respect each other, and nourish the relationship. Meaning that know your husband's or your spouse's love languages. Meaning that your siblings and his siblings are siblings. Like, you know, I should be able to call my husband's siblings and he should be able to call my siblings. We shouldn't be like, oh, it's his family. No, you are married into one family. So you should be able to love and protect that family also because you are part of that family. And I think that is one of our unwillingness. You know, we don't know how to willingly be there for each other. And I think it's also important when we talk about the things that we do in our family. I think you have to learn how to share the responsibilities. Because those lack of sharing of responsibility also cause
Cause
bitterness.
bitterness. Yeah.
Because he said, oh, I'm always cleaning the house. I'm always doing laundry. I'm always washing clothes. I'm always doing A, B, and C. My husband is not helping. Have you asked him to help you?
Yeah.
We don't ask. We expect them to do it. But I'm telling you that not everybody have the inclination to help because you have pampered him. You have never asked him for help, and you have never asked him to do anything, and then you expect him to do it. It will not happen overnight. But we have to ask for help. And if you ask him for help, he loves you. He will do it.
Yeah.
You say, honey, will you please help me wash the dishes? He won't say no.
No.
He will do it. So please, remember, those little things that prevent you from having and holding on to him, he just wants you to let it go.
Yeah.
Moment or two, let the bitterness go.
Go.
And just go on with a clean slate. Ask.
And one thing I will add to what you were saying is, when they do anything for us, we must learn to appreciate it.
Of course. Even if they don't do it the way you want it to do.
Yes, we must. Sometimes, sometimes I'll tell my husband, oh, it's been a long time you prepare soup. I like your goat soup. He said, oh, okay. So you want me to prepare goat soup? I said, oh, yeah. In fact, it's been a long time I tasted your soup. And when I say it, I say, I love you. I love the way sometimes you cook for me. You cook your goat soup and the way it tastes. Sometimes you get it on point. Sometimes it will be otherwise. But no matter what, when I finish eating, I'll go like, ooh, honey. In fact, your goat soup is something else. And so anytime that we get goat in the house or something, then he says, no, today I'll go into the kitchen and get my goat soup. And I said, okay. So anytime he finished, I always try to appreciate it, praise him or whatever that. So it doesn't mean that anytime you should just let him do it or something, but sometimes you let him go to the kitchen. That's why I was saying that, because sometimes a time will come, maybe you can't get up. Or maybe you might be late. You can't even come home to do it for him. And because your kids too might be hungry.
Sure.
And because he can't go into the kitchen, it will be something else. So we should encourage, as I was saying, and show appreciation.
Wonderful. Wow. I definitely love that. I think it is important, especially when you are here in the U.S.
Yeah.
A lot of times things happen that I work weekends. So one weekend a month I'm working and I come home and my husband has done the laundry and I'm like, thank you, honey. The bed sheet has been changed. Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
And he knows. He will be like, do you see the bed sheet has been changed? I say, yes,
Yes.
sweetie. 1 weekend a month. But yes, I appreciate that 1 weekend a month.
Yes.
That my husband take the time to make things happen. So being appreciative is really important.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to show that you acknowledge them.
Yeah.
And you cherish them and you
Yeah.
respect them. So whatever they do, if they are taking the trash out, even if they are washing your dishes, if they are changing the linen, whatever they are doing, they are giving the baby a haircut, whatever they are doing, just appreciate them because it makes them want to do more.
Yeah.
If somebody does something you don't appreciate it, guess what? They're not encouraged to do more. Yeah. So appreciate our significance. And that is part of to have and to hold. Whatever you have and you are holding on to, that is going to bless you with abundance, grace, and love.
Yeah, our husbands too, they need to appreciate us.
Oh, amen to that. Amen.
And they need to encourage us too, because it's not easy.
No.
Working and coming home to do all those things. So they too, when they come home, when they are eating, my husband says, anytime somebody cooks for you, because it's not easy to cook, even to wash dishes and other things. So whenever you are sitting, whenever you are praying, God, I thank you for this food. Thank the person also who cooked the food. Pray for the person. Our husband too. I will entreat you that you too, as we are doing it for you, you too, the same thing. Because it works both ways.
Thank you so much. So we are our time is fast spent.
Okay.
So if there's some last minute words that you want to tell our viewers, and Matilda, what do you want to tell?
Oh, well, we've talked a lot. So what I would say is, even as 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, faith, hope, love. I say these three, but the greatest of this is what? Love, as the Bible says. So, and as we even said it on the day of our wedding or when we're exchanging vows, that I'll forever love you. Please, let's always remember our vows, no matter what. And sometimes too, it's good that we sit in front of those videos and other things and watch them so that we keep on reminding ourselves. And also, as we are saying, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. It doesn't mean go out there and buy something huge. But sit down. You can sit down, choose some words that you think so lovely, so appreciating, so encouraging words, and also pray. Thank God for the life of your husbands. And as I said, when there is anything, please, let's run to the throne, not the phone. Amen.
Thank you so much, Auntie Matilda. We just really want to encourage you. We want to wish you happy Valentine's Day in advance. And of course, just remember that it's not just the 14th of February that is the only day to show. Show love throughout everything that you do. Show love in your kindness. It's a love is kind, love is patient, love does not envy. So just remember all those things when you're thinking about your loved one, as you are having and holding. We just really want to encourage you to celebrate the relationship you have. It is important to celebrate love. It's important to cherish. It's important to respect. Those are the key foundation in it. We want to encourage those who are not even married, those who are getting ready to get married. In a couple of months, this year I'm praying for 30 weddings. Last year we had 23 weddings, so we already have 6 so far. And it's only February. Just imagine. But I just really want to encourage everybody. When you think about love, relationship, think about to have it. It is hard to not hold on to the one that you loved, and it's really hard not to love the one. So remember that it goes both ways. Haven't love the one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for our wonderful guests. And we also want to thank our viewers and our supporters. We want to thank Ashon Collection. We want to thank Lean on Jesus Foundation. We want to thank Aisha Dai. We want to thank Viv Jakes. Our list goes on and on. But we also want to add you to the list. So if you want us to sponsor you, please let us know. Call us, text us, email us. We'll definitely add you to the list of sponsors. I just want to say thank you so much, our national head, Apostle Mwaku, our regional head, Apostle Semna, our district pastor, Pastor Evans Party. And of course, this whole week, Church of Pentecost, Bostonville Assembly, we are having marriage seminar. So you are welcome to come and be part of it. It starts from 7:30 to 9. We're having one tonight. And of course, we'll have one tomorrow. So please come and be part of it. Relationship. We need all the help that we can get. So thank you so much for watching us. Until next week. Next week there's a program on Tuesday, Empowerment Team, and of course Thursday, Moments of Truth.